Irish Funner here, and today I'm gonna make a video based on doping. And personally, I think one of the reasons that people tend to dope is because they want to reach the top level so they can have celebrity status, and have loads of people respect them and all that. And I think that's a bit sad, to be honest. I think running is meant to be about fun, and when it comes down to things like this, then the insecurity of some people kind of get in the way of that. And to be honest, I think you'd be better off not looking for the celebrity status. Personally, I wouldn't want it myself. I'm perfectly happy just to have a few family members, friends, guys in my athletic club, and some of my rivals to know about my progress. And that's it. I don't care if John down the road doesn't know about me. I don't really want him to, because I don't know who John down the road is. Okay, so all right, so I'm going through an article I wrote notes on based on some guy in the Pan Am Games, which was in the Dominican Republic. There's a Canadian sprinter. He came fourth in 100 meters. The winner was stripped for gold though, and he got to he got the medal in Canada in his post box in a letter, but it didn't feel right to him. He just got that medal and in front of no one in his house, in front of a mirror. He says it's not the same. He said he much preferred if he just won that bronze medal in front of loads of people in that stadium, because by the time he got it, the medal was probably old news by then, and people probably fed up of hearing about it. So that's what he's saying. He says the thing is, people don't care unless you're winning at the highest level. That's the thing. I mean, if you're a 14-minute 5K runner, let's say, or even below that, people don't really care. You probably have family members, friends, members in your athletic club. Some people in the athletics community, they tend to know about you, but outside that small circle, people just don't know who you are. And like if you see that guy, what's his name, El Coyote Loco, Nicola Filipazzo, he ran what, a 13:50 5K. He ran a 2:21 marathon in his first ever marathon. He's only 24, I think. Maybe he's 25. He ran a 65-minute half marathon, and he sweeps floors for a living, doing night shifts. So that's the reality for some people. Some people just don't want that. But they want the fame, they want the glory, they want the money, and sometimes you just have to lower your expectations slightly and just be happy that you're doing your best. Sprinters want praise. I'm sure, like a lot of people, some sprinters don't get praised and get looked down on. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, like Nicola Filipazzo, some people might look down on him because he cleans floors, but fair play to him. He's making a living for himself. It's probably not the most fun job. It has to be done. He's good to be doing that. Thumbs up to him. Respect. Here they say, Sports Illustrated ask, would you rather see a 9.65 100 meters, which was the world record at the time this was written, on drugs, or a clean athlete run 10.2 seconds? 70% said they'd rather see a world record. That's the thing. It's like, your best often is not enough in the eyes. You don't get praise for what you do a lot of the time. I mean, like I'd be going out for 15-mile runs on the Sunday last season. Nobody says word to you, nobody says well done to you. It's just you on your own for 2 hours. That's the thing. Where do you get any type of congratulations from anyone during the races? And that's just a small part of it. You put the effort in, whether it be recovery, trying to eat well, trying to get enough rest, training, trying not to overdo it, trying to make gains as well. So all the work is done before you actually get to the start line, really, and then the race is only 20 minutes or so for, say, of running, or for a short distance is even less. That's where they get all the praise, and that's the way it is. Some have to win by any means, some are just built for guilt. Yeah, that's the win thing he was saying. There's two types of people. Some people are built for guilt, so they just couldn't take these substances because they feel like they'd be letting themselves down, they feel guilty, they feel like people would be ashamed of them. And then there's other people who just want to win at all costs. I was reading about some of these people who were taking the drugs, and they said they felt like they weren't going to get caught, somebody else would get caught. I mean, that's a bit naive, to be honest. I mean, if they're doing these tests on everyone. So 1 in 7 athletes have blood that suggests doping. wonder if that means elite or is that just anyone? I mean, does that mean 25-minute 5K runners are doping now? I don't think they'd risk it, to be honest. A third of medals at World Olympics had suspicious blood. More than 80% of Russia's Olympic and World medals won by suspicious athletes. That's the thing. Like, I think they're bad for the 2016 Olympics, which might seem a bit unfair, considering they say there's 20% who didn't have suspicious blood who couldn't go, so they just feel totally let down by the system. That's life. It's unfair. I mean, that's just the way it is. Oh no, these are people who won Olympic and World medals. More than 80% of them who would have won Olympic or World medals, but still, like 20% of them wouldn't have suspicious blood levels, or close to anyway. So Kenya has 18 athletes winning medals with suspicious blood tests. Those Kenyans trying to come out of poverty, I guess. Stimulants and strength building substances have been around since ancient Greece. Okay. So yeah, I'd say for people living in poverty like that, it's a little bit more acceptable because they live such a tough life and probably want to get out of it. But still, it doesn't mean it's right. It's just slightly more accepted than somebody who lives in a country like Ireland. You can train full time even if you're not a professional athlete because you can go on the dole. I mean, what you get enough to live on. I think you get like €144 a week. You have to pay a little bit of tax for getting a free house. So you got a free house and €120 to yourself every week. So you can survive off that. I mean, you might have to watch your money, try to save money a bit, but you're not going to starve. You're going to be spend most of that money on food to support your running. You can do it, man. You can do it. Stimulants and since ancient Greece. Yeah, I did classical studies in a school there a couple of years ago, and I was found out that back then people didn't see anything wrong with cheating. I mean, if somebody was, say, running in a race and they say they made one lane for another runner really slippy, then people wouldn't look down on that. They'd just say, oh, it's a good idea, sure, if it makes him slip and you can beat him, sure, great. But nowadays it's different now. I think that's for the best, probably. Restrictions started in the 1920s, so yeah, I'd say before that, who knows what they're doing. First Olympic testing in 1968 Olympics in Mexico. So yeah, I mean, a few years before that, people would have been able to get away with this stuff. I was reading about some runner. He's training with Emil Zatopek. I forget where he's from, but he was running with Zatopek and he was struggling at I forget, but they're doing 400s, I think, 68, 69 seconds, or maybe 66, 67 seconds, and he gave him some drink, which he just drank, and then he started running laps in 61, 62, 63, I think, something like that. So yeah, maybe he was giving him substance without him even knowing it, and that shows how little he actually cares about him, his coach. He just wants him to win. A lot of people are like that. They don't care about the person as an individual. They just see them as a tool to win and get praise and all that, and it's just sad. Like, people are like that. Some coaches, if you're not a good runner, if you're not effective to them, they don't care about you. That's what a lot of coaches are. That's a harsh reality. It's only when you start to become good that people actually take notice of you. Some people are just like that. I mean, it was like me when I wasn't much good at running when I was in my first year in secondary school. People generally didn't care about me. I made the team, but just about, I'd say. And then my second year in secondary school, I started to train a lot more. I became one of the best of my year, and then suddenly people started to take notice of me, and I know that before that they just didn't care. That's the reality of the situation. Anabolics. In fact, I want to mention a quote from Billy Joe Armstrong. He said, "It's okay to be a loser. It just depends how good you are at it." So that's the thing. Like, society just doesn't know all the facts. They just see you as it is. I mean, say you're a runner running down the street, you train, you do so much of this mileage, you're close to qualifying for the Olympics, nobody cares. You just see you as another guy out running, but then you win a medal at the Olympics, whatever, people do take notice of you then. That's the way it is. So baldness and no sperm for males, more facial hair and deep voice for females. That's one of the things with taking anabolic steroids. It affects your health like that, and they say that it affects your performance as well. You get like short-term gains, but then you start to dip. It happened to the world record holder, what's his name? forget his name, but yeah, he's what 2:57 for the marathon. He's gone right down there now. So stimulates to make athletes more alert, overcome fatigue with higher heart rate and blood flow. Diuretics remove fluid for weight loss. Yulia Stepanova. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name right. She let's see. Fears for her life after revealing Russian doping. Yeah, she came. She did what was right. She told the truth, but now she's in a lot of trouble for it. That's the way society works. Sometimes, people do the right thing, get penalized for it and punished. She has an 800 meter PB of 156, 1500 PB of 406. That's all. That's all the research I did about her. Anti-doping officials admit drug athletes are more advanced in the method to detect them. So, okay, consequences include loss of sponsorship, loss of income, previous achievements gone, damaged relations, damaged future career prospects, effect on emotional well-being, physical well-being. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, people are going to look down on you. Do you really want people to think that? I mean, if you're just some runner out running on the streets and nobody takes any notice of you, so they're not going to think badly of you for doing it. At least, so you don't have a bad reputation. You don't really have a reputation at all in the general public. So, but if you're caught doping, then you've got a bad reputation all of a sudden. You're seen as a villain. I don't think it's worth it. Okay, so records set before 2005 were wiped out. Yeah, there were. And Paul Ragu says this will damage your reputation. So, you got your reputation damaged. This is the thing. People care too much about their reputation. They want celebrity status. But honestly, you need to just cop on and realize that running is fun. It's not about getting celebrity status. It's not about that. It's you just don't really see it that way. I mean, look at the Tara Humara. They just run for fun. They run along. They joke along. They run for very long distances with other people. A lot of these people, reading about some of them, they refuse to get sponsored by companies because they see it as evil. Just running for money, it's evil. You lose the joy of it. That's the thing of all this blood testing and all that, all being so serious. It kind of takes away from the fun of the whole sport, and I think that's sad. I mean, alright, so this is my video today on doping. Please comment, like, subscribe, whatever you want to do, dislike, whatever you feel is right. I'd really like to see more comments, so if you want to give it an honest comment, whether that be criticism or whatever, I'd like to hear it, even if it's abuse directed at me. I'd like to see something. Okay, so thumbs up to you and goodbye.